Hi everybody, my name is Phil Casals. I'm the editor of the Santa Fe New Mexican. I want to welcome you tonight to look at a wonderful video presentation of the 10 who made a difference for 2023, presented by the Santa Fe New Mexican and our many, many partners in this community who want to honor people who do things for their fellow man and woman without any expectation of being recognized. Every year at the New Mexican, we ask the community for submissions of people who have made a huge difference for people around northern New Mexico simply by giving of their talent, their time, and their treasure. It's made a huge difference in New Mexico for many, many years. At the New Mexican, it's really one of our favorite things to do, to honor people, our neighbors, and our friends. I think one of the things that makes us really happy at the New Mexican this year is we're about to embark on our 175th anniversary. That's a huge accomplishment for an American newspaper. We're really excited, and on behalf of our publisher Pat Dorsey and our owner Robin Martin, we'd really like to thank you for your support for over these many, many years, and also for your continued interest in the news and in the people around you. If we could ask anything of you today, I think it would be just simply this. The New Mexican does something every year that we're really proud of. It's called the Empty Stocking Fund. We donate, and we ask people to donate to help their neighbors and friends who have hit tough times. And as we all know, in this era, there are a lot of tough times in northern New Mexico. If you want to know more, go to santafenewmexican.com, look for the Empty Stocking Fund, and if you choose to, perhaps you can make a financial donation to help those around you. Again, we're really excited about this project. We always have been since the 1980s. And we plan to keep doing it for a long, long time to come. Again, thanks. Have a great time as you look at and view some of the most amazing people you'll ever know in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Thanks.
My name is ARL Namingha. I'm primarily a sculptor, born and raised here in New Mexico, in Santa Fe. I was raised in Oka Pueblo, where my mother's from, and also from the Hopi Reservation in Arizona, where my father is from. Just been part of this community for quite some time. We have our own gallery here on Lincoln Avenue. We've been established here for 33 years. Us as a family, we established the Namingha Institute. The Namingha Institute is a long-time dream of my father's. It really came about with also the help of a friend of ours by the name of Phil Smith. He really believed in this thought and idea that we had, my father's dream, and we attached it to the Museum of Northern Arizona in Flagstaff. What it is a 2-week intensive, started out as an undergrad program. What it enables the students to come and do is they have a place to stay, they have a stipend to help them with their expenses during their stay. We provide all the materials, and my dad and I have been donating our time to teach for the 2 weeks. And at the end of it, they actually do have that ability to exhibit their work as well. So there's also that business side of things. Growing up with the culture of and partaking in our ceremonies at Oka Pueblo as well as out at Hopi, now what I tend to do a lot more when my young relatives, cousins, or even just friends that are partaking in the ceremony, some of them for the first time, I receive a phone call quite often to see if I could create some of the things that they need, some of the rasping sticks or rattles or some of the regalia that some of the dancers need during the ceremonies. And I'm more than honored to do that and just to see them utilized and be able to provide for our family and friends that way. Well, during COVID, I was also approached by a really good friend of ours by the name of Olivia Sloan, who worked at the hospital, and they wanted to do something to honor all the frontline workers that were putting in all the hard work that they were doing during this difficult time. I submitted a couple ideas, and one of the pieces that they liked is titled Strength and Equality. They liked the symbolism behind it. It's a very simple sculpture I had created, but if you stand it vertically, there's these two strength marks that we utilize in our ceremonies. And then if you lie horizontally, it's an equality symbol. So I created these very small jewelry pieces, so we were able to present to them right on the COVID floor and just really thank them for all the hard work that they have put in and continue to do there even now. You know, it's really fortunate just to do what you truly love. Making a mess in the studio every day and people believing in your thought and idea is really quite surreal. So it's just, thank you again. I will always definitely give back.
I'm Betty Cisneros-Shover, and I'm the president of NAMI Santa Fe. I first became involved in NAMI in Denver, Colorado, when one of my family members was diagnosed with a mental illness. I took a family support group and then a family education program to help me help my family member as well as support me through this process, which can be very traumatic for many families. So when I moved to Santa Fe 13 years ago, I reconnected with NAMI and I connected with our local affiliate, that is NAMI Santa Fe, and I came on the board. I also facilitated support groups, which I was trained to do in Denver, and I taught a family education class to help family members understand the illness. NAMI Santa Fe is more than an organization. It's really a family. It's a community of supportive individuals. We couldn't do it without all of the volunteers that we have, either people on our board or our program leaders that actually present our programs. That's who we are. And that's really what makes my job so easy, is that we have everybody pulling together, and we have fun. We have a great group, lots of great ideas, and I think through that collaboration and communication that we have with each other, we kind of help normalize mental illness. And of course, that's one of our goals is to destigmatize. So through our efforts, both with all the things that we do, education, support, and outreach, I think we achieve that, and we can only achieve it through people that really believe that this helps and this is important. Like I said, we are a community, we are a group that I can't do it on my own. And so if anybody should get the award, it should be the organization, because all of us really have helped to, I guess, showcase what I do and what I believe in and I'm passionate about.
I'm Bruce Black. I moved to New Mexico in 1971. Since then I've been involved in various volunteer positions around the state, mostly in Albuquerque, where I lived for about 10 years, and in Santa Fe, where I've lived for the remaining 40 years. I was a judge, for my day work. I was a lawyer for 15 years, and then I was a judge for 22 years. I was on the State Court of Appeals. Governor Bruce King appointed me in 1991. In 1996, I went over to the U.S. District Court, appointed by Bill Clinton, President Clinton, and I served there for approximately 21 years. I have been involved with Habitat, both in Albuquerque and Santa Fe. I've been involved with Las Golondrinas here south of town. I worked on the Santa Fe Business Development Council. That was one of the first members of the Santa Fe Foundation Board, and the Partners in Education for Teachers. I was on their first board. I've worked at the Santa Fe pools because I like to swim. And they kept closing the pools. There weren't enough lifeguards. You could have 3 guards on duty at all times, in the buildings in case somebody has to call 911. And got 2 people to do the compressions that's important. So I, amazingly, after 60 years, got recertified, and I'm now a Santa Fe lifeguard. And I have been frequently involved with care for the homeless. I worked with St. Elizabeth's when the nuns ran it. Used to pick up people at night and bring them over there when it was really cold. And then I have also worked in various other charities around town, including Pete's Place, which is sort of a sequel to St. Elizabeth's. I was on one of the original groups that helped start at the Presbyterian Church in the downtown Episcopalian Church, Holy Faith. Were instrumental in getting it started. We started over on St. Michael's for a while in an office building right next to the Burger King. It was not ideal, and we eventually got this place with the city's help over here at Pete's, and had a real vision for a one-stop homeless shelter, and it's come faster and with more vigor than any of us ever thought. I think we have health care for the homeless, we have help for vets, we have bus passes, we not only house people and feed people, of course, but we also have a lot of programs that help them move on and get into some potential better situations to be employed. They usually then go over to St. Elizabeth's, where they can live for 90 days and they get clothes and some further help with job placement, and we've done a pretty good job.
My name is Carmela Montoya, and I am the president and operator of Pathways of Healing Dog Rescue. We operate here in El Dorado, New Mexico. We currently have a sanctuary that occupies 14 Chihuahuas that are all medically fragile. They have all been rescued from different situations, and they will all remain here until the end of their lives. There is an abundance of Chihuahuas. Unfortunately, New Mexico has an overflow of Chihuahuas and Pit Bulls. They occupy, I would say, 90% of the shelters. So they're the underdog. So I naturally rescue the underdog. I started fostering for a good friend of mine, Maureen O'Brien, that lives in Laney, New Mexico. I started fostering for her, and I got addicted. So I started my own rescue, and I haven't stopped. And this was 10 years ago. So in the future, I would like to bring awareness to our community to have a provision for their dogs. Most seniors land up in shelters, and that's where we get a lot of our Chihuahuas, is from people that have passed on and that did not leave them in their will. They have a provision for them, and they land up 14 years with an owner, and they land up in the shelter. Well, we rescue puppies. We rescue a lot of puppies from Roswell, New Mexico, and I'm affiliated with the Max Fund Adoption Center in Denver, Colorado, and I'm also affiliated with Puppy Lifeline. So we will rescue a litter of puppies. We'll quarantine them for a couple of weeks, get them vaccinated, get them healthy, and then we transfer them to Colorado, where they get amazing homes.
Hello, I'm Chaplain Joe Dudak. I am managing director and one of the founders of Chaplain Joe's Street Outreach. So what kind of was the catalyst to get me here, to get us here, was about 10 years ago. I started volunteering, actually it was 12 years ago, 11 or 12 years ago, I started volunteering at Pete's Interfaith Shelter. And I noticed from volunteering there that there were people that couldn't or wouldn't go into the shelter. It's a low barrier shelter, so the people that can't is due to violence or drug behavior on property. And I started noticing it when it got to be 10 degrees, 0 degrees, there were people who were turning out into the cold. So I started buying sleeping bags. Well, that got me out into the homeless community, and I started noticing that there was a lot more people out there than I figured there was, and there's at least twice, if not 3 times, the amount of people that are in the shelters out on the streets that won't go to the shelter and won't or seldom come in for social services. So that led to me getting to know the homeless population and realizing some of the other things they need than just a sleeping bag. And that has led to what I am doing today, and I should say what we are doing, because it was me for a long time, Chaplain Joe Street Outreach. And now this has gotten a lot bigger than me, which is an awesome thing. We have a board of directors, we have a 501c3, we have an awesome board of directors. And it has led us by talking to the homeless, and I always ask them to this day. Today I asked a bunch of people, what else do you need? What else do you need? So I started carrying more and more stuff, such as sleeping bags, tents, tarps, sack lunches from Joni from Christchurch, granola bars, wet wipes, socks, first aid supplies, hygiene stuff, little aerosol fire extinguishers from the city. Okay, one of the things we do at Chaplain Joe Street Outreach that is every bit as important as the sleeping bags and the food that we provide to the unhoused is that we treat them with dignity and respect, and we give them conversation. We treat them as the human beings, we see them as the human beings they are. Because the unhoused are human beings. They're not any different than you and me. They're people going through hard times. And I really enjoy doing that. We really enjoy doing that. And I really enjoy considering these folks my friends.
My name is Liz Delfs, and I am the founder and the executive director of My Little Horse Listener. We're located in Cerrillos, here in New Mexico, and we've been doing this work now since 2016. Equine facilitated learning is a relatively new kind of field in working with horses, but it really sort of fits in with what I believe about kids and what I believe about horses. And that is that everything that a horse does when we are with them can be a learning moment, especially for children. Trust. So many children come here, I don't think they even know what the word means. They've just learned not to trust the adults in their life. We show them how to have a horse trust them. And when a horse trusts you, you know it, and it's a really beautiful thing. And what's so cool about kids and horses is that horses naturally trust children. We started as a reading program. The kids were happy and I was happy, but what I was noticing is that the horses were capable of doing so much more. They had these amazing interactions with the children, and then it finally dawned on me that all these kids were coming out not to read to the horse, but because they just wanted to be with the horse. We would do activities with them. Sometimes that could be as simple as grooming the horse or teaching the child how to train the horse, which is really exciting for kids because when you could get one of these guys to do what you're asking them to do, it gives you a sense of power and control in a healthy way that a lot of our children haven't had either. We've had children who have stopped talking as a result of the trauma that they've been in. And when they come here, they'll talk to the horses or they'll talk to the donkey. The horses keep your secrets. That's the other thing why kids talk to them. The horses don't say much. They're not going to ask you about what was going on in your family. One of our newest programs that we just started, we used the horses as mentors for teenage girls. And they would choose one of the equines that they sort of felt a connection to. Sometimes it was as simple as one girl said, nobody wants to be my friend, but Serafina, she wants to be my friend. She experienced friendship for the first time. And of course, our hope is that she can transfer that, to moving out of here. We're free, totally free. We don't charge now, and as long as I'm in charge, that's going to be the case. It has to be a free program. It has to be available for children who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity really to interact with a horse. I really want to share them. I mean, they're so cool. How can I keep these four to myself? That I just really want the community, to be able to have access to them. And that's what we do.
Dr. Meline Wright, founding director of the Santa Fe Soul Festival. I want to thank Gregory Gent and the board of the Santa Fe Soul Festival for nominating me as a person that made the difference. I was born in Detroit, Michigan. My father was a bus driver, my mother is a housewife. I have an older brother and a younger sister. Each of us graduated from college, have advanced degrees, and have volunteerism as a major part of our lives. I was raised in the church as you've heard so many African Americans say. Sometimes black women are called soul sisters, and you wonder, what is this thing called soul? Suffering is part of the human condition, but African Americans use the arts as a special method of encouragement so that we could survive and thrive. The healing arts and traditions are transmitted through the African American church. When my husband Booker was stationed at Scott Air Force Base, I studied African dance with the Katherine Dunham Company, and the live drumming and the dance movements created a passion for me and a coping strategy that I'm still using today. When we moved to Houston, I founded the African Dance Society and organized dance workshops with teachers from Katherine Dunham, Alvin Ailey, Dance Theater of Harlem, to name a few. I was recognized by the Urban Souls Dance Company as a pioneer in the arts because the dance workshops that I organized with help from lots of people became credit classes at Houston Community College. As a member of Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church, I founded the Girls' Rites of Passage program, which systematically taught the essence of African American culture and art. Santa Fe doesn't have a black church, but the people of Santa Fe want to know more about African American culture and arts. So 5 years ago, I persuaded everyone I knew to help me form the Santa Fe Soul Festival. First Presbyterian Church of Santa Fe hosted the first gospel concert, which features soulful African American church music by a gospel group, an opera singer from the Santa Fe Opera, and dancers from the National Dance Institute. The funds raised by the gospel concert are used to pay performers and teachers for the free programs on African American visual arts, poetry, literature, and dance. I will be forever grateful to have been chosen as a person that makes a difference and to continue to make a difference in Santa Fe and around the world.
Hi, I'm Phyllis Pante, and I'm with the Democratic Party of Santa Fe County Community Services Program. 2 years ago, at an executive committee meeting, I recommended that we start a community service program where volunteers with the Democratic Party go out and work in the community with organizations that represent Democratic values. After the recommendation, we formed a committee and we contacted multiple organizations in the city of Santa Fe that were already doing community services work. So our committee now partners with multiple organizations. Some of those organizations are the City of Santa Fe, Pete's Place, Reunity Resources, Food Depot, Habitat for Humanity, Santa Fe Animal Shelter, and Kitchen Angels. We volunteer with each of those organizations at least once a month doing various tasks. With the Food Depot, we'll go help package food. With Kitchen Angels, we have 2 teams. One will do food delivery on Mondays, the other team will deliver on Wednesdays, and it's groups of 2 so that each group will possibly deliver food once a month. So there's flexibility within our program. We have approximately 80 members in the community services program, and they have different interests, so they'll work with different organizations throughout the month. The other work that we do is we'll volunteer with the City of Santa Fe, as they are very short on workers in the Parks Department, and so we've adopted the Via Linda Park. We'll go over there at least once a month and we'll help pick up garbage throughout the park. We'll also go help if the city needs us to. We painted handicap parking spaces at some of the parks, and we've done trash cleanup at a couple of the other parks. So some of that is all just very fun work. With the community services program, met a lot of new people, and we just have a very good group of people that are out volunteering, doing community work. Come join us at any time. It's extremely valuable to the community and very satisfactory to the volunteers.
My name is Richard White, and I got involved with the volunteer community 15 years ago. First with Gerard's House. Gerard's House is a program that is Founded in 1996, there was a young man named Gerard Sanchez who was a student at Capitol High School who lost his life in a car accident. And a lot of his classmates at Capitol High were traumatized by this loss. And there were places for the adults to go to, but nothing for the kids. The organization started and really focused on kids from 3 to 21. It's based on a peer-based grief support model. I saw Gerard's house, I got really connected with it, and volunteered just to help with the website, build the website. As I became more aware of the mission and the impact that Gerard's house had on the lives of kids and families, I took the volunteer training and became a facilitator for the 7 to 10-year-olds. One of the things that I've really noticed about working at Gerard's house is these kids have experienced death in many different kinds of ways, unmanageable ways in some cases. They've seen people die, they've lost people, they don't know why that person's not in their life anymore, and a lot of questions sometimes, and they keep showing up. They come to group. Their time at Gerard's house is, it's a safe place for them to be with their feelings of grief. So my sense of compassion and empathy for what these kids have gone through has affected me. When I first started volunteering with Rocksteady Boxing in 2017, I really didn't know a lot about Parkinson's, what it was. I definitely saw people with tremors. I didn't kind of get what it was all about. The boxers who are in the Rocksteady program are people who've been diagnosed with Parkinson's. That's a requirement to join Rocksteady Boxing and POP. And it's really a high-intensity interval training workout with boxing. It's kind of the mode of exercise. It's a horrible disease that robs people of the quality of life. And Rocksteady Boxing is all about slowing that process. One of our mottos here is, fight back. And these people do that every single day, and we get to see it when they come to class and they work out as hard as they can. And it's humbling to be a part of it, and it's a place for gratitude and for a lot of different things. One, for gratitude for the things that I have in my life, gratitude that I'm here with people who are struggling in one way or another, but they show up and they're fighting the fight, and if they can do it, I can do it. And that is a very powerful realization that keeps them coming back and keeps me coming back.
Hello there, I'm Tony Giles. I am truly honored to be called one of the special members of the 10 group. And one of the reasons I'm really happy to be here is it gives me an opportunity to talk about a program that I know is a valuable program. It's called CASA. CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. They're all over the country. Our CASA program has been here a little over 25 years now. And without any question, it has helped thousands of children in the 3 counties that we're involved in. These are children who living in situations that are unhealthy, unhappy, scary, and life-threatening on occasion because their parents aren't equipped to be parents. So the kids are neglected, not cared for properly. And what we do, we're a small nonprofit, and we train volunteers who then, recognized by the family court judge, they then are assigned a case or a child or a family. And as a CASA volunteer, one gets very involved in the family issues, the school issues, and the neighbor issues. And most of these children are then, with the support of the CASA, put into a foster home. But the CASA is involved in home visits and meetings with the professionals who are managing this case. That's CYFD, Children, Youth, and Family Department in our state, and often get very attached. So again, I've been involved for over 15 years or so, and I was a volunteer first. And I have a wonderful story. The boy that I was working with, who was about 11 years old at the time, and I can say his name is John. He now says he's in his mid-20s and having a very successful life. Most ways, happy marriage, wonderful little child, a good career going by and large. And he says, often, if it weren't for CASA and Tony, I might not be here today. And I can't say that without getting almost teary-eyed, but there are many, many, many stories like that over the last 15 or more years of CASA First. So again, my major pleasure at having this opportunity is to talk about CASA, and I think all of my friends know that because they all hear about CASA all the time.